Okay, let's continue to massacre this hog pan dirt and see what we get. Let's see. Okay. So, let us scoop the dirt. Here we go. Oh. Turn our trusty little light on. I mean, we should be finding bonus nuggets. I just don't understand why not. I guess the most you can get is 30 ounces out of here. I could have swore it was 40 because the original bonus nugget was 40 ounces out of here. We will see. Now that my tummy is all full of pizza and we got some more coffee, let us continue. The way I used to do this was I would take a whole bunch of buckets and I'd fill up those buckets and then I would dump it into the hog pan. But I felt that I'm trying it this way because I feel that the more you play around with the buckets, it just takes longer and whatnot. It's faster to do your cleanouts, but in the long run, I think it's pretty much the same thing. Whether that makes a difference turning it off and filling it up and turning it on. Seems like it makes about 14% per clean out. I don't know. Find out. I'm moving my character with standard movement run. Just because to make this easier without me having to press the shift button all the time. Oh, excuse me. Ay. 89%. Start her up. Start me up. Don't know the words of the song, so I'm not even going to attempt to sing it. I have to say, this sun is quite hot in here. So by the time that's done washing out, if it is 14% per, that's what we're digging, we should be good about 24-25%. Okay. So there is a slight bit of lag behind the cleanup, which is good because we keep up with it. Oh, stupid tree. I wish you could cut that branch down. It's always in the way. So one thing I learned in this game, though, is as long as you don't do a clean out, the claim owner kind of turns around and goes, oh, he hasn't found any gold yet, so we're not going to take anything from him. Whether that's legit or not, I don't know. But it has been a whole day, and he hasn't taken money from me, plus we are paid off on the loan. So I think patience in doing your cleanouts is a valuable thing. So I made a decision that we're gonna basically bank our money for the tier 3, and hopefully by the end of summer, possibly have enough money to get it up and running, and then we'll have the dump truck and the excavator where we can target certain spots. This will include putting out 20% of our $20,000 for extra equipment slots and whatnot. Whether that's legible, feasible or not, I don't know. remember back when this game first came out and vehicles like barely ever ran out of gas. That was great. I think the gas on the vehicles, I mean, considering like you're in the excavator and you're not driving around and stuff like that, I think the fuel usage should be higher when you are driving around and whatnot. But as for hydraulics, I think when you're stationary, they should last a little longer. I mean, the fuel is easily managed. It's not like it's overly expensive, but it's just a kind of a pain in the butt all the time having to go in and always fill up all the time. Especially running the tier 3, I found that I'm always shutting down my plant, having to fill up, reset my plant, going down, driving, probably getting about 20 or something loads in, and getting the low fuel warning, getting another 3 or 4 loads, and having to go fill up, shut everything down. The good old days when you could drive back and forth without having to worry about filling anything up ever. Except for the generators in that. I found that the fuel usage on the generators were pretty good. We'll see. I think shutting it down like that does make a bit of a difference. You get 2 or 3 scoops in, then it gets completely empty. And, you know, just something extra to do, kind of keep your mind on the fact that you're just walking essentially back and forth and doing what we do. So the reason why I'm putting these videos out on YouTube in this fashion, it is kind of boring, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool at the fact that, you know, someone watch start to finish, see where people make mistakes. I think I might have it right this time. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But there's a lot of videos out there where they do, well, this is boring, you don't want to see this. Maybe people do want to see it. Maybe they want to see you sitting in the hog pan area completely sucking all its resources out. Maybe they don't. But since my videos on YouTube all got demonetized and I'm not allowed to take my monetization anymore, try to get it back, because why not? I mean, it's as simple as just making videos without having music in it. Apparently, YouTube is so strict with music that it's very, very hard to find any non-copyright music to actually play in the background without people going, oh, that's mine. So, videos go up, no music on. And I realized I could make these videos slightly better, but unfortunately, with my last computer, when I did my emergency format, I lost my really cool intro. But that's okay. About the music, you can text the producer and ask for permission if he allows it. You type it in the description, you should be all good. Yeah, see, I was doing videos and I was using YouTube's NCS free music in the background. And there's a song that they have called Nova, and apparently I made a video and that song was in there, and I got a copyright strike. And I was like, how, when it's non-copyright music? It just said that you are free to play this music during any of your videos, yada yada yada. So I was kind of thrown off about it because, you know, you can text and ask. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a 2-hour video of Gold Rush that I wanted to upload, and ended up being that that one song, 4 minutes long, ended up being copyright striked, and I was like, man, it sucks. YouTube is ruining everything, and that is why so many people are starting to make their own Twitch accounts. Yeah, you know what? It's a matter of just doing everything with no music. It kind of sucks. I mean, I got demonetized because I was making Grand Theft Auto videos with my buddies. And they turned around and they said that the content that I was providing was not family-friendly type thing, and that they were demonetizing my channel because it wasn't doing very well. So, I mean, most of my clips were all from straight up uploading from Twitch and whatnot, right? And then I would just kind of edit them in Vegas and whatnot and make them look really cool, and they basically told me that my channel wasn't good enough and they were taking away my monetization. Whatever. I think in all the videos I made, I think my highest earnings was like $2. We're making their website so that you can pay, for example, $5 to watch videos without any problems whatsoever. Well, that's the thing, right? Is a lot of people are looking for a way to get their videos out there. And I mean, YouTube is even going as far as like people getting copyright strikes on their own voices just by doing like video logs and that. There is a gentleman, I don't know what his channel is, was talking about how he got a copyright strike on his video he made because it was some other person's voice, and he's like, I'm the only person in this channel. How did I get a copyright strike on a vlog when it's just me talking? And they're saying it was someone else's voice, right? That kind of thing really bugs me. I mean, I remember YouTube and stuff like that would be like, you know, I don't know, it was okay. And they've gotten so stringent and everything that it's just doesn't really make people want to stick around, right? I was kind of laughing because even other producers and whatnot are associating people's behavior based on their YouTube channels now too, right? Like there's a video Pt.5 put up about the fact that he was banned from Roblox, even though he had one of the largest Roblox streams ever recorded to date and did a lot of advertising for Roblox. And Roblox banned him because of his content on his channel, saying that it wasn't appropriate for their targeted audience. And to me that was kind of weird because he's PewDiePie. He's probably got the most subscribers ever, I think. I don't know. I used to watch him when he first came out, and I found that it was kind of, you know, he was definitely a showboater, but some of his stuff seemed kind of legit. Some of it really was kind of like really but now it just seems like he's just always making videos that just there's no even effort put in. I mean, he doesn't really need to put effort though. Nowadays producers allow it because they get a free advertisement. Yeah, well, I'm unmonetized, which still kind of worked me about the whole striking, because it said that any revenues added, to my channel would be forwarded to the copyright holder, and I was like, how? I'm not even monetizing these videos because I don't have the option to anymore. But basically what I'm doing on my YouTube channel is every single video and every single stream that I'm doing right now, especially when it comes to Gold Rush, is I'm just uploading it to my channel as part 1, part 2, part 3, so figure, you know what, try to get my channel back up there and maybe start doing something for reals, who knows. So I'm uploading like an hour hour and a half chunk videos. Just see if I get something. My first video had like 3 views on it. I don't know if it was me just checking out those videos to see if there's anything on them, but DJ, hiya Fox, seems like you're still getting gold. Yeah. Hopefully. This some new area? No, this is a restart because I made a mistake by buying the front end loader, and scraping the bottom of the claim apparently is not the good way to go. And after a 20 bucket cleanup, I ended up only getting 26 ounces of gold. And I was very beside myself and talked to some people in the Discord for Gold Rush, and they said that I should have been using the excavator and the dump truck at the start of Tier 3. Even though it's a little more money, it's highly more efficient to dig from the top to the bottom and then scrape your remainings with the dump truck later on. So, yeah. Whatever, it's a mistake I made, but, you know, I really don't mind this game at all. So, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, these last couple of streams I've been uploading to YouTube, so people can feel free to watch it and critique my every move, right? But, I kind of set myself a goal for the hog plant. I bought 18 buckets, and I'm like, you know what, we're gonna get all those buckets. Those are filled already. We're gonna see if we can get these, oh wow, we only got 5 more buckets to go, and then we'll be doing the cleanout. By the time I get those 5 buckets done, should be included in this upload, who knows. And magnetite, hopefully to get my cost down on magnetite, or time, or something, right? Oh dear. Is that oh dear like as in John Deere? Anyone here still playing Farm Sim 19? Can anyone convince me to go back to Farm Sim 19? This is a very tactical game. You know what? And I'll be honest, I've talked about it before. If you don't have 15 to 18 hours a day to play this game, you ain't getting anywhere on the leaderboards. Because you look at leaderboards right now, and leaderboards are absolutely ridiculous, right? Look at the top, like 20,000. The top 8 are in the 10,000. Like, that is such a huge gap between 8 and 9. It's like a 4,000 ounce gap. And then from 3 to the top, that's almost 11,000 ounce gap. Like, you're never going to get that unless you start on day 1 and we're going. It's not even about, I don't know. It's just about the most gold found, right? Like, there's nothing really that'll ever get you caught up unless you're just playing all the time. More gold and more mag by skipping. It does save time, but time's not even a factor on the leaderboards anymore. This game is pretty much just about who can get up there the fastest, who has the most time. I'll be honest with that. Like, guys are getting reamed out on the discussions because the leaderboards are just, they're broken. And I understand that people are upset because they're not on the top of the leaderboards. But honestly, the people who have the most time are the ones that are going to be on the top. Because it doesn't have to do with, I drilled out these areas and I found these really good spots and, you know. Are the leaderboards per week / month, or are they all time? Leaderboards are pretty much most gold. That's pretty much how the leaderboards run. So there's no time factors into it anymore. They used to have how much time they spent, and that used to determine. I never understood leaderboards. It's not really a competitive game. Well, what they've tried to do is they've tried to make it that they make their own seasons, right? Even though you go through all 4 seasons, it seems to me like what they're going to do is they're going to run this like, if anyone's played Diablo, the Diablo seasons, they might run this leaderboard for a couple months and whatnot, and then they'll reset it, and then you start all over again. But my thing about the leaderboards is like, how many times are people going to want to restart over and over again to be part of number 1, right? I mean, it's a good thing, but I don't know. Like, I thought leaderboards were going to be based on, like, on what stage you were at, like, your equipment value in comparison to how much gold you found and kind of stuff like that, but it doesn't always seem to work that way. It's basically, to me, I'm going to outright say it, whoever has the most time to play the game is going to get the higher gold find, because, I mean, essentially it doesn't really matter. Each gold site has its given amount of gold. It's a good value. For $15, yeah, there's lots to do. I'm waiting on FS19 to get patched and stuff. To me, it's kind of seems cartoonish compared to FS17. Yeah. I would say this game is a good buy because it gives you a lot of time. And take it from me, from this being the 3rd restart, just take your time and save your money. And try not to get overexcited when you get a ton of money and be like, oh, I'm going to buy this and buy that, because then you run into problems where I make a bad decision and I should have saved, but unfortunately I saved over my save by accident, and I couldn't return to my previous game before buying the front-end loader. So I wouldn't really worry too much about skipping into your machinery. I think if anything, sell the smaller excavator if you have it. But I ended up selling my drill and my small excavator, or my big excavator, just to get the front end loader and parts of the tier 3. But this game is kind of unique to itself because there's no set in stone way you have to do things. You could ask 5 different people how they started off, and they all have different ways, right? So it all depends on your own decision making and stuff like that. So when you screw up, you can't say, oh, the stupid guy that told me to do it this way, right? It's all based on stuff you do, which is kind of why I like it, because no one can really blame anybody for it. Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest, FS19, just to kind of skip the topic here a little bit, FS19, I was super excited about it because of all the new features that they said they were adding and whatnot. The one thing that really got me was that their whole slogan of farm like never before. Farm like never before and immersive farming was really exciting to me, because it had me thinking that they were going to straight up and add GPS mod and stuff like that. Which got me really excited, and then in-cab, interactions and stuff like that, where you could like turn on the tractor from inside the tractor and whatnot. I was pretty excited about that. I was like, man, they're talking about immersive gameplay. They're talking about farm like never before. They're talking about revamping their old engine. Things are going to be great. They started talking about land defamation and stuff like that, and it was really good. So I decided, you know what, they're having building farms. If you go back a couple years ago and watch our Agribros stream, there's a part where I was talking in the Agribros stream saying I would like to honestly see Farm Sim implement the part about adding buildings that would be placeable and, placeable areas, and build your farm. Like, you'd have a shed and you could place it here, you could place it there. If you don't believe me, look it up in Agribros. It's like the third video or something like that. We were talking about it. And these videos were being emailed directly to Giants and whatnot for their viewing and stuff. So whether that was an idea they came up on their own or they were taking ideas from that, it was suggested because I made the comparison to Tony Hawk Pro Skater, where you'd be given a blank map and you could make your own skate park, right? So I said, what if Farming Sim took on that ability? Because not everyone is as skilled in Giants Editor as the next person, right? Basically, it would be like, hey, I want this building here, pop it down here. I want this barn here. I want this animal pen here. And that's the comparisons a lot of us were making, saying that would be a really cool idea. And lo and behold, I heard that in 19 that's what they were going to do. And I was like, man, this is amazing. I'm like, this is going to be so good. Like, basically auto terrain deformation when you place a building, that's kind of cool. And then I started watching their streams and I started noticing problems, like big problems, about when they would place a silo, the land would get super raised. And they said, oh, that's going to be fixed, don't worry about that. There's still bugs to work out, and we're still going to do this and we're still going to do that. Okay. In many cases where most companies would be like, hey, you know what, we're going to disappoint our fans, and I know they're going to be mad, but we're going to delay the game just slightly by another month because we need to work on some stuff. Would have been a better release than just turning around and saying, hey, here's the game. EA Sports, it's in the name. We're not going to launch this game because it's a steaming pile of shit and there's a lot of problems with them. But you know what? We know how much you guys want it in good condition, so we're not going to launch the game. We're going to turn around and we're going to wait and get it all, fixed up. Would have been the most responsible response to their launch. But Giants, and I don't really care if I get in shit for saying it and if nobody disagrees with me, but Giants has lost their way, and we've said it a lot in the stream before when we talk about it. Giants has lost their way to what Farming Sim is actually about. Farming Sim never used to be about esports. Farming Sim never used to be about, raising horses and this and that. Farming Sim was always about friends getting together online, making a farm, making it work, making it productive, doing crazy challenges, like how many sheep can you get in the farm. In Farming Sim 17, I had 32,000 sheep on my farm in the first couple of months of Farming Sim 17 being out. And it was hard, man. We were just dedicated to doing grass and water all the time. And we kept going until eventually the guys on my server said we can't do it anymore. It's impossible to keep up. And we did it a little bit longer. We got to 32,000 sheep, and it was amazing. It was so fun. And stuff like that just made the game so much better, is being able to do little things like that. Modding, the source codes and everything like that for modding were released instantaneously on 17. Within 2 weeks, the codes were out. Mods were coming up for mixing stations. GPS mod came out within, I think it was like the second week it came out. And people were just like ecstatic, like absolutely ecstatic. The game was going well. I was running a server with about 5 or 6 people on it. And it was good times. 19. I was pumped for it, but some of the things that implemented wrong, like building the farm, unless it perfectly was flat, you're not going to have. Yeah, so mods really made the FS game. Okay, speaking about mods, And I'm not so much of an instigator of the truth than anyone else is with Giants. And on their forums, I've said a lot of times that I think Giants is becoming way too reliant on their modding community to produce content for their game. And I think it's absolutely horrid that they are implementing stuff into their newer games that we've had for years, okay? A lot of people were fighting me in the Discord, and I actually got kicked from the Farming Sim Discord because they said that, Giants is so awesome. They're releasing sugarcane, and, it's finally going to be in the game, and it's amazing that they made this big step forward, and that, and I said to, in the Discord, I says, sugarcane has been in the game since Farming Sim 15. And they proceeded in the Discord to tear me apart and say that I was a liar, I didn't know what I was talking about, that, if it wasn't for Giants, we wouldn't have this great new content. And I said, I've got 2,800 hours in Farming Sim 15. Actually, I think it's more than that. And I said, we played maps like Pleasant Valley, where we had to make your own fuel, you had to make your own seeds, you had to make everything. You had to self-sustain yourself on those maps. And you had to be productive about it, because everything you grew had to do with the progression of the map. And it wasn't, it was, I think, 5 or 6 farms around that map. And the one thing that really became apparent was that Giants was taking mods and they were putting them in their game the next year. And the one girl, well, I think she was a girl, I don't know, she had a lady Sif or something like that, said that I was a complete liar and that I was speaking BS and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And I said, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm just going to show you. So I went to FS15 mods, LS15 or whatever it was, and I pulled out the sugarcane mod and I posted it. And she called me a liar, saying that I just made that up, that it's not an actual download. And I had other people in our group saying the same thing. This is a mod that we used on Pleasant Valley 15 because sugarcane was part of the fuel production. And you guys are praising Giants for putting it in 19 because it's a brand new crop. I'm like, it was also in 17 as well. But honestly, I hate to say it, but Giants has become a minimalistic game where people are basically getting the absolute minimum of the game that they're looking forward to. When I watched the live stream in the first week before launch, the guys they had running the streams didn't really seem to give you any information. They were streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so obviously a restream. But people were asking questions like, hey, is there damage mods? Is there going to be interactive cab controls? Am I going to have to fix my equipment once it wears down? We're talking immersive gameplay. These are all stuff that people are really, really looking forward to. And stating the facts that, if you want to make your game immersive, then get the people involved more with their machinery, how they drive. If you're going to be irresponsible and jump your tractor off a cliff, you're going to have to pay for the damages, right? Which is going to inflict your income of your farm, because now you're paying for damages rather than just paying for your general use of your machine on the farm, which to me seemed like it would be absolutely plausible. And they said no, there's going to be no use for there's going to be no damage if you smash your tractor into someone else. No damage. Okay. And in my head it's screaming in my head, immersive. Okay, is there going to be implemented GPS mod within the tractors, or is that going to be a separate function we're going to be able to purchase for our tractors, combines, yada yada yada? No, we're not putting any of that in the game. So, I mean, you can see and feel my disappointment as the game is unfolding itself on this live stream. And maybe I'm being a drama queen, I don't know. But it's just like the sheer disappointment in me was just like, this isn't like this isn't seeming good. I was kind of saddened by the fact, and maybe whatever. Some people they don't care, but I mean, me being a big fan of farming sim, and that's what made my channel. I kind of was taken at a point where either Giants has lost their way, or they don't give two craps about what their audience wants, and they're just gonna start doing what EA does and start putting out games that have problems. And well, we'll take your money and here's your game, and we'll fix these bugs later on. The first thing that should have been fixed in Farming Sim 19 was the terraforming. They shouldn't have had to give us landscaping mode in the first place, because it should have been something that should have been working when you place a building. When you place a building and now you've got a massive rolling field in your middle of your farm because you placed a barn that's too high or too low, it's kind of discerning. They try to get the point that they want the biggest paycheck for the amount of work. It's true. And people get mad when you say that. I think Giants relies on their modding community way too much to provide content. And being a big farming sim player that hasn't played I've only played 19. You can check my Steam. I've only played farming sim, I think, like 40 hours. I didn't even make it to the 100-hour mark, and I said to everybody, you know what, we're gonna go 100 hours before we even add mods to the server. And I made it 49 hours, I think. And I was just like, I can't play this game. It's just the point of like combines getting stuck on hills, the European map being so rolly that you had to use the smaller combines in order to get the combines to go over, and then you working for a week and a half to get the money to buy yourself a nice New Holland CR1090 Trax edition, and then you take it up on the first harvest and it gets stuck on the slightest little incline because the header is colliding with the ground. And I put it in the forums saying that there's a problem with the CR1090. It's digging into the ground when it's going uphill. It's causing the combine to stop. And someone else came on and said this point's already been addressed in this forum link, blah, 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 blah. So I read through that forum link. I added my thoughts, like, you know, this should be something that should be fixed. I think the header's going too far down. I think the what do you call it? The angularity of it is too low. The percentage needs to be brought up a bit more so that it's not actually contacting the ground. And they turned around and said, don't worry, it's going to be fixed. Along came Stevie from Stevie Modding, Farm Sim Mods. If you guys are big Farm Sim players, you'll know who Stevie is, you'll know who Dadgenet is, Raptor Modding. Stevie redid every single vanilla piece of equipment in that game and released it as a mod just to fix the bugs and got them working 100%. Another example, when they released the Spanish map, I can't remember what it's called, El Mancho or whatever the heck it's called. When they released that map and I put it on my server just to see, it had 132 errors on it. And that was a direct download from Giants. 150, like 132 errors or something, 150, something like that. It was immense. And I exploded on the Farm Sim forums, and I just said, like, this is ridiculous. Like, look at this, 100 and, like, whatever errors it was. I don't know, I can't go back there because I'm not allowed back on the server. Apparently I've been kicked. But I was like, how can a company that releases almost the AAA title for farming games release such quality and expect their customers not to be mad? And people literally like tore me apart saying that, oh, it's your server. No, it's not. When the server doesn't allow me to play the map because there's so many issues with the map, That's not a server issue. That's the server saying that your performance is going to be lackluster because of the quality of this map you're trying to add. You get a decent sized field, and after one harvest, your combine is broken. That's the other thing. Fixing your equipment is, it's okay. But you shouldn't have to be fixing your equipment on a daily basis. It's kind of ridiculous. The fact that your sprayers and that in a couple days will stop working because you have to repair them. I'm not really sure what they tried to put in that game. I'm really disappointed, and I don't even know what to say about Farm Sim anymore. Just the fact that I was really looking forward to that launch, and when the launch happened, it was a disappointment.
Yo.
Hello, KJ.
You ever played Darkest Dungeon?
No, I have not, but I've seen it's on sale.
Yeah.
You can get the $50 package for $17 or something like that.
Yeah, I know. And that's where I'm like, as much as I like that fucking Dragon Cliff game, I know it's totally different in true gameplay, but there's a lot of similarities.
Darkest Dungeon is a roguelike game, so your playthroughs are never, ever going to be the same. It's kind of like if you've ever played the game Faster Than Light.
Yeah.
It's basically based off of that. So, I mean, you could have a really good gameplay for the first 5 or 6 missions, or you could be completely decimated on your first one, right?
Yeah, I know. Reading the reviews, everyone's like, this is the most brutally hard game I've ever. And there's just something about that kind of piques my interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want something that's challenging, right? You don't want something that's going to just turn around and you're going to... Dragon Cliff, when I heard how easily you beat it, I just kind of was doesn't really seem I mean, honestly, I let it run for those 12 hours that I was away and then came back on. And I had all ancient guys, ancient equipment, and they were only level 2 equipment. And I equipped that, and my guys were boosted at 4,700 HP, and I made it all the way to level 49 before my guys started struggling. And then I was like, oh, wait, hold on, let's switch up their weapons. Oh, continue to go on. So they're as soon as I AFK'd that game, it made it 10 times easier, and I understand now why you finished it in such short time.
Yeah, the normal mode, yes.
The normal mode, yeah.
Yeah, the other ones definitely get harder and harder. I'm actually legit stuck right now where I'm. Yeah, I got to figure out how exactly I grind higher gear out because I'm sort of stuck.
I think the gear gets unlocked as you progress through the game, because I noticed that when I was farming level 12 or whatever it was for the 12 hours that I was away for, I had 2 different types of unlocks, which was a staff and a golden sword. But as I started progressing through the levels when I came back and I redid all my characters, I started locking stuff up. Every 10th level, new stuff was becoming available. So I don't think it's character progression that unlocks it. I think it's how far in the game you are.
Yeah, and I know that each of the missions, if you click on them, they tell you what gear and gem range.
Yeah.
And I know you can combine the gems. Have you unlocked the Foundry yet, where you can combine? Basically, it becomes like the Mystic from Diablo, where you can pick a stat on the gear and roll it.
Oh, no, I haven't unlocked that yet.
Yeah, so there's one of those, and then in that same Foundry, you can combine gear together to be the next highest. You take 3 of the exact same piece of gear and combine them, and they become the next higher tier. But they don't increase in level; they just increase in quality. And you can also enchant them by adding an extra stat boost in there. So there's all this kind of complexity to the gear design.
Oh, interesting.
and the gems that you get that you place in high level gear, you can combine those together and they make a higher level.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm starting to feel like the point where I'm at, I progressed by combining a bunch of gems together. So I get like level 11 gems that give like a ton of, strength and
Yeah,
vitality and
yeah.
defense. But I'm not entirely sure. So I don't know. I didn't play yesterday at all. I just played the division most of the day. But yeah, I don't know. I'm amazed at how in depth that game is. I know you said that you were a little disheartened by how easy it seemed like it, was beatable. But I don't know. I love it. Jesus, I have 82 hours played already because I idled for so long.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'm gonna go back to it.
Well, and they keep pushing updates. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I know they're just little bug fixes right now, but
Well, it's nice to see an actual developer actually taking good care of their game, though.
yeah, I agree.
Unlike some other giant developer.
Giant developer. And that Winkle J thing that I posted, I'm gonna buy that. I know I am because it looks so interesting.
Oh, I have Winkle J plans for the near future, and thank you, shopkeepers. Is that kind of like Shopkeep?
Yeah, but it's like top-down Sims kind of view.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's getting like really good reviews. I watched a couple of YouTube videos on it yesterday. It looks really like interesting.
When's it available?
It's now.
Oh, is it?
It's on sale right now because they just launched for 15% off. So it's $8.49. It's probably about $10 for you.
Let's see. Darkest Dungeon, $19. Regular, $60.
Yeah, I got both Winkle J and that Darkest Dungeon pack in my cart right now, and I'm just debating whether to pull the trigger. I'm probably going to.
Winkle J. Oh, it's $9 for me.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Winkle J is a game about building, decorating, and running a small shop in the days of old. You will deal with the day-to-day business as the owners of your very own store. Oh, man. You know what? If this is like Shopkeep, then I'll be right into this. Because I really enjoyed Shopkeep. Oh, man, it totally looks like Shopkeep.
Yes, exactly.
And more games like this. Shopkeep.
Yep.
Another brick in the mall. A great addition to the shopkeeper genre. Okay, I'm going to have to buy this.
Yeah, I saw the guy. The only way I knew about this, I didn't like randomly flag this or something. I saw the guy post on the Reddit Tycoon. I follow that and I check it almost daily. And he's like, hey, I just wanted to post here and say, I've got my new game coming out here. Got a long ways to go, but this is my kind of first entry into early access, and I just wanted you guys to be aware and take a look. And people were like, oh man, this game's really fun. And so I was like, oh, I gotta take a look at this.
Can you run through what each machine you have does? I really don't have any machines right now because this is a restart, but I'll show you what I've got here. The mobile water tanker, basically what I'm doing here is I've got an electric pump hooked up here to this generator, and I fill it myself. You can either go to town and fill this by paying for the water, or you can fill it yourself, which I think is better. So when the ice forms on the river, you can run directly from your external water pump. It's a fuel tanker, obviously it's for hauling fuel. That's an important asset. And then over here we have the magnetite separator. The 5% number here you see is the magnetite that's been collected from the cleanouts so far. And the magnetite is actually used for upgrading your blacksmith. So when you take this magnetite and you go to drop it off, you drop it off at the factory that's just outside of Old Arnold. And then it puts it in your inventory, and your inventory then you spend it at the blacksmith for doing upgrades like gold loss, speed, amount smelted, and there's one more I forgot about. So that's important for upgrading. Time is money kind of thing. So that's the magnetite separator. It requires a yellow cable and a small green hose to have it run. And the wavetable over here is where you go on stage 2. So you do the magnetite separator first, then you come on over to the wavetable, dump it in, and do your clean out there. So what I'll do is I'll do all this in the magnetite separator first, stock it over here, and then run it all through the cleaner. And you can actually have 2 buckets in here at one time, which will give you about 100%. Once it gets down below 50%, you can dump another new bucket in there to have it clean out. This is just your regular hog pan, which is your basic startup pack. After this edition, we're going to be going to the mobile wash plant and the excavator. That's pretty much what I got right now. Oh, and of course the truck, which likes to blow tires a lot. The truck goes through more tires in a day than I go through in 2 years of actual real driving. Oh man, that Winkle J looks good. It's early access though, eh? Yeah, if anything, I'd pull the trigger on that Winkle J, but I mean, that Darkest Dungeon's a great value, eh? Like $60 for 19 bucks. So, in that Winkle J, have you watched any gameplay of it?
Yeah, I have.
How do you go about acquiring stuff to sell? Is it like Shopkeep where you have to send an adventurer out and they bring stuff out?
So I think that's in the plans, but I don't know if that's in the game. But the way it works right now, from the gameplay I saw last night, you get a chance when the shop closes at night. You can order stuff from a vendor that'll deliver it right away in the morning. There's also a trader that comes around once a day and walks into your shop and offers to sell you things also.
Okay.
So you can buy them, your idea is to buy them cheaper and then sell them for more.
Yeah, of course. Interesting. Let's take a look at what our cut looks like here. Oh, we've done a lot of work. We'll definitely get those 2 buckets out of there, and that's the last we're going to spend here on the in this area here. And then we'll look at getting the mobile wash plant and the excavator up and going, and then we will pick a spot and fire away.
So I sent you the Reddit Tycoon thread, and I think someone in here said yeah, so the guy who posted is the developer. He says yeah, he says we'll talk. Someone said, I can see this blooming into something even bigger and fun. Running your own shop could be something even more. Let us build part of a bakery or something like that, and then bake your own breads and pies. And then he says, the developer goes, we'll talk about that tomorrow, actually. I've been working on what we call scenarios internally, which is essentially that. We can modify the base game for what you're playing now to build blacksmithing scenario or a marketplace scenario.
Oh, wow.
Perhaps one where there's always a recession going on and everything's like hard to buy, or things like I've got lots of cool things in mind. I'm going to post more about that tomorrow. And then that's when he posted that big what's in the pipe for it or whatever.
Okay.
Which is the plans for the near future.
Oh, so the Shopkeep isn't just a generic all-in-one sales. You can actually specialize into being like a blacksmith or something too?
It sounds like that's his idea, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, if you read that plans for the near future, he basically says Scenarios are best described as challenges. They will consist of many things that you guys have been asking for, such as different difficulty levels, different map sizes, and more focused shop types.
Yeah.
Or you might come, it says, it'll focus on, for example, you might find a scenario where things are more expensive than usual, increasing your difficulty. Or you might come across a scenario where you'll start with a forge and you'll have to take on the role of a blacksmith.
That's really cool.
He says we're working on.
It's just
Yeah.
Blacks are just Shopkeep 2 is slowly progressing. They've made a ton of updates, but I'm kind of trying to stay away from it for now.
Yeah, we played it in such an early alpha state that like I'm just like I'm gonna wait till they release it and then I'll go back and play it. I still think it's a fun game. I had fun just dicking around doing what we were doing, but it was very unfinished.
3D glasses for $3 million. Like, hello?
Oh yeah.
It's like
we forgot about that.
We really don't have to do anything anymore to try.
Yeah, he says wall-mounted furniture. Wall-mounted furniture is on its way. Think of shelves that you can put items on or paintings that you can put up to increase your store's
appeal.
Yeah, because appeal is like a stat that drives how many people come into your shop. And so you have to balance like your space of shelving versus appeal items. Basically, like how much stuff do you want to put in there so you can keep sales going versus how much stuff do you want to put in there to drive more people in. I don't know. Fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. And Darkest Dungeon. I might regret the Darkest Dungeon, but at least I can refund it. Well, that's the thing about Steam. Is like if I get in Darkest Dungeon and I can tell instantly it's not for me, I can refund it. It's so...
Yeah. It's nice because 90% of the time they'll give you your money back as long as you forward it back to your Steam card. Like your Steam wallet.
Yep.
Because then they go, well, you're just going to be spending it on another Steam game, so it's not a loss, right?
Right.
I noticed I get denied more when I say, oh, can you return it to my credit card?
Ah, gotcha.
But they seem more inclined to give you a refund if you just put it in your wallet, because then they know you're just going to buy something else, right?
Right.
That's right, beat that shovel like it owes you money. Well, Zebra, I made a goal, and I'm sticking with it. This is how much I have left. Not much. Well, you get that Winkle, Jay. Let me know how it is, because I got paid today, so... It's like Shopkeep. I'll have to get it. Because I was looking at getting that game, Another Brick in the Mall, and it's basically like a mall tycoon game where you build your own mall and you add like different places, but it's kind of like Prison Architect.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if I still have it on my wish list, but I watched a lot of videos on that. There's another one called Academia, which is similar but just for running a school. Also kind of same exact type of feeling. Interesting about the Darkest Dungeon thing. Looked on Reddit for the gaming deals, and someone asked, is the DLC worth it for Darkest Dungeon or not? And they said, this guy responded, the DLC is absolutely worth it. The negative reviews came from people who I almost guarantee you felt that it was too hard because the DLC changed up the way you had to play so that a lot of people's little pet meta strategies didn't work anymore and they had to adapt. And they didn't, and so they found it hard and didn't like it.
You have Another Brick in the Mall there, Cat in Red. How did you like it? I haven't played it too much. Oh, okay.
There's one of these DLC for Darkest Dungeon that has an endless dungeon.
Endless?
Yeah, you just go until you die, I guess.
Yeah, that's the one thing that was really interesting when it came out, were games like those roguelike games, like, it has weird controls, kind of rinse and repeat. Oh, okay.
Yeah, endless quest. Survive as long as you can while getting lost in time and space, confronted by the unending waves of enemies, new and old, pushing ever closer to the crash site of the.
Well, we got 2 more buckets to go, and we are done with this place for cleaning out.
Huh. Darkest Dungeon was made by 14 people.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Faster Than Light. It was a nice game. You could just kind of sit back and hope to God you're making the right decision.
Right.
And it can go to hell in a handbag so fast because you're just like, oh, the Armada's catching up, but I can get a bonus if I go to this place over here. And then you end up in a fight and you're like, okay, well, I'll help you. And then the pirates, like, they kind of screw you over and you get into a big fight and then the Armada gets closer and you've got, like, I've got one move. I can either exit the zone or I can go to this station. What should I do?
Oh, well, this just sold me on it. Darkest Dungeon has workshop support, and there's like a fuck ton of mods.
Really?
Yeah.
All the games I have, I got bored. New games don't seem to tickle my fancy. Have you played Shopkeep 2?
That's where, I don't know who said that. I just heard Fox repeat what you must have typed in chat, but that's where you like need a free-to-play game that you can always go back to.
Yeah.
Like a game that's like a ever-living game that you can just easily bounce back into, burn a couple weeks, and then just move on.
Yeah. Captain Redbeard, we actually have a Minecraft server we're doing Sky Factory 3 on. Our friend Griff is in touch with Dark Oso, if you know who that is, who is developing Sky Factory 4. So hopefully, if everything goes right with the updates, we'll have Sky Factory 4 alpha or beta, depending on what it is, up on our server. And we're always looking for people to come join us for that kind of stuff. There's another really good roguelike, but it's kind of older, called Dungeons of Dreadmore. It's the darkest dungeon, but isometric and hilarious items. Like, there's an armor that one white... Oh, there's armor that's one white glove, etc. A little bit of a Michael Jackson hit there. KJ is the one that's talking in the background about the roguelites and whatnot, and he just announced himself in chat. I love Sky Factory 3 and Direwolf packs. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Twitch, but I cannot play games that are graphically intensive and have Twitch. It just kills my frame rate in game. I don't know if it's some setting I have, or I don't know.
Graphics card. What kind of graphics
Why
card?
I have a 1070. It's not like it's horrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? That's kind of unfair for me to say because I don't Oh no, I normally watch chat or watch people's streams and stream at the same time, which ends up not being too bad. But
Yeah,
I'll notice the occasional frame drop once in a while. Twitch encoding is piss poor. Your PC is doing a lot of work. Okay, I'll tell you this. Well, okay, other than the fact that I've got top of the line everything right now, I'm only running 5% streaming this and having chat open with Discord and watching my son's stream. So it's not too bad, but I'm running a 9900K. Oh my god, they announced the 9980X, the i9, $1,400 for the chip.
Jesus.
It's, I think, 16 core or something like that. Oh, it's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's why ultimately I just started running IRC and just connect to Twitch chat via IRC because I don't need the graphics, but I can follow. I was just like,
is your graphics card set to maximum power?
I don't know.
Like under
remember what I
your,
have it
if you go to, what is it, power settings under your computer, you can select your power plan for performance, and then under your NVIDIA selection control panel, you can select your video card to use maximum power performance, which kind of spikes it a little bit, but it won't get lagged out.
Power management is optimal power.
Yeah. For PC, like streaming and stuff like that, for me, I always run it under performance. And then if you right click on your desktop, you can also set it to maximum performance for your what is it called? I can't get to my, oh no I can. NVIDIA control panel. There's a guide I ran through. Under manage 3D settings, there's an option for power management mode, prefer maximum performance.
Yeah, I've already got that.
Yeah.
It's the Windows side that I'm not seeing exactly what. Oh, I think I might have just found it. Okay. So on the Windows settings, I have high performance already checked.
Yeah. That'll kind of release the cap that Windows caps it at for like optimal and eco mode kind of thing.
Well, I've already got that, so it was just the NVIDIA setting apparently that I need to change.
And then I can't remember what the settings I put. I think I allow 3D application to take control of the settings rather than Windows just saying, you know, oh, you're gonna run it at this, like.
Right.
So my game will run depending on how my settings in game are, rather than NVIDIA managing it automatically, saying, oh, it's gonna run like this. Which is kind of nice because depending on your computer specs, you won't even have to mess around with any of your settings.
Well, we'll see if this works or not.
I paid $80, a couple year old 6-core, and this still does work. A 6-core, nice. I know, I gotta find some time. My son's running VR HTC Vive on his computer. You got an i7 6700. That is a very good chip. Do you have the unlocked version, or is it strictly just the 6700 series? Because I'm giving my son my K series. One more bucket to go and we're done with this area. Yeah, I'm giving my son the 6700K that I have on my computer in the back here, which also has a 1070 and an Asus Z170 board. But he already has the Z170 board, so I'm just going to turn around and give him my CPU. I got to find some time to do that.
We'll see what happens here. Started up the Division, which is the one that just kills my... It'll actually stop Twitch streams from even streaming. Which seems crazy.
It sounds like...
So, we'll see. Trying it now. We'll see if that power setting changed.
Are you running the XOC EV? Are you running EVGA?
No, I have a MSI.
MSI. Oh, so you have Afterburner. Afterburner's the same thing. If you run Afterburner, you can actually overclock your card as well.
Yep.
What the hell is mine anyways? i7 3930. Nice. I don't have the K, just the 6700 3.4. Yeah, I was running the 6700K for the longest time, and I was running it at, I think, 4.8 gigs. And it did impressively well. I was very impressed with it. A lot of games that it shouldn't even been handling, it was handling no problem. Only reason I got a new computer was because, well, I want to play newer games, right? But I did most of my. It was a base tier from Digital Storm. Digital Storm actually has very competitive rates for pre-built computers, and they have an amazing configuration lineup too. The only thing you have to watch out with Digital Storm is their markups, and they make a lot of their money on the warranties. I mean, it's a killer PC for 700 added RAM. That's the one thing you need to watch out with pre-builts that are on warranty, is sometimes they will put what's called a it's a sensor. So let's say you open up the sidewall of your computer one day, it's gonna actually break the sensor inside, and so if you have support one day go into your computer, they can tell right away if you've opened up your side panel, and if the problem could be caused by something that you did or something like that.
That's real janky, because like you open up the side panel to clean dust and stuff.
With Dell now, you can't even open up the side of your computer without you tripping that alarm. Because they have basically, it looks like a little magnet on one side of the panel and a button on the other side, and when those separate, it actually will turn around and tell the technician, if they go on like TeamViewer to your computer, whatever link up they use, that, oh, the computer case has been opened.
Yeah, and I tell them to fucking air dust off, and they can fuck off. I didn't touch the components, even if I did.
Yeah. But the difference between Digital Storm and Dell is that Digital Storm uses the foam pack inside your computer, which I don't think they would use it, because it is one of the requirements when you do order a gaming PC through them, that you have to open up the side panel in order to get that stuff out. So I don't think they run that. I know Dell does for sure, and it's really, really janky, especially on Apple products.
It's like super anti-consumer. Fuck them.
Like Apple, according to technicians that work from Apple, technicians come down to your place and look at your MacBook, right? And they say, "Holy shit, you need a new RAM stick," and stuff like that. So as a consumer, if you open up your your Apple MacBook or whatever, and you find out the problem is that one of your RAM stick is shorted out, it's burned, something like that, and if you call Apple and you say, "Hey, I just opened up my computer and I noticed that a RAM stick is burnt out here, I'm gonna need a new one," they'll charge you an additional fee on top of your repair because you opened up your computer. The other thing that's really janky about Apple is that if a technician orders parts before they've been confirmed by Apple that they're needed, the technician will be fined an excess amount of money because they put in a parts claim before they were approved by Apple themselves. Because they run... Apple runs such a lean manufacturing program that basically they're only producing parts that they need to produce. So by you turning around and saying, "Well, we're gonna order you some new RAM, and then I'll put the paperwork in for approval and whatnot, and we'll get you that RAM," it's gonna cost that technician more money to order it because he did it unapproved, because they like to approve their parts, then submit them to the factory to have them be made or picked or whatever, and then submitted for approval, and then the technician will get back to you kind of thing. And Linus actually does a video on it. He talks about how janky it is, and that if Apple technicians order parts when they haven't been approved first, they can actually lose their jobs and licenses. I can understand a core charge, but yeah, that's stupid. It is. It's also an additional fee onto you if you open up the computer and you break that seal. It's an additional fee onto you because you opened up the machine, so then they assume right away that it was the customer that caused the issue. I can't remember what he said. It was a motherboard on his Apple TV or whatever that broke. And he opened up the computer, and instead of him being charged the $500 to replace the main board, they ordered everything else. They ordered the main board, the graphics, and the audio driver. And just because he opened it, because they needed to verify that that for sure was the part that was going on, instead of just replacing the part that needed to be replaced, which was the graphics driver. If you want to check out the video, it's on Linus Tech Tips. It's a series about how Apple runs their customer service and whatnot, and they talk about how they did a bunch of backdoor deals and stuff like that just to get parts. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's actually really unfair to the consumer.
So I think I figured it out. Somehow hardware acceleration got turned off in my browser.
Oh,
So it was trying to run everything through the CPU.
oh, right. There's also a setting under that 3D management thing. If you go to physics, and you can select your video card, that anything graphical gets run by your GPU, and anything that's not graphical gets run by your CPU. So it kind of splits them.
Huh. So, okay, I'll look at that. Are you Alt-Tab right now? Is that why it's frozen? No.
Oh, there we go. Now I am.
I'm just trying to figure out if my stream
Oh, sorry.
froze like it had been, or if it's just because you Alt-Tab.
No, I alt-tabbed twice, and now I'm back to shoveling again.
Keep running around here in the division and see if the stream starts normal.
Nine viewers, highest I've seen in a while. You know what? I get a lot more viewers playing Gold Rush than I have, like, ever. I don't know why. And it's always during the hog wash station. Like, after the hog wash station, if I'm on the mobile wash plant, I seem to get less viewers. I don't know if it's just people really like watching the hog wash. But it's really weird, because as soon as I go from the hog wash to the mobile wash plant, it's like I lose viewers. Intel onboard graphics, laugh out loud. I had that like 2 years ago. Kind of weird. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Maybe it's just a Canadian thing, but we have a place up here called Mary Brown's Chicken. Sounds like it should be something from the South. I don't know. Maybe I'm being racist. Who knows? But I don't know. They have these little tiny chunks of chicken that are breaded. They're kind of like chicken nuggets, but without the nuggets. And they're so good. I don't know why they're so good, because they're just breaded chunks of chicken, right? I don't know. I could imagine that these would taste really good dipped in like KFC gravy or something. Maybe I'm just that unhealthy. Never heard of them? Okay, it's probably a Canadian thing. I don't know. Oh. There's a place not far from me that actually sells those hog pan things. Thought about getting one and going to the river. Oh, Fox has been at this for more than an hour. Haha, I'm from the UK. Yeah, if you guys want to watch the previous videos of me doing this, I actually uploaded them to my YouTube channel, which is Ludicrous Fox. What I'm trying to do is you'll hear me say that I'm going to pulse my stream, which means I'm ending a break to the stream and starting a re-upload. So basically I've been running about an hour to hour and a half videos. Basically what I do is after I get done this one, I'm going to take a little 10-minute break. I'll end the stream and then I'll come back in about 10 minutes later so that I can start streaming again. And then I'm just uploading these as part 1, 2, and 3. I think I've got 3 parts already uploaded. But not a lot of people do videos without cutting a whole bunch of time out of them. I mean, I haven't seen any videos where people have just strictly done one thing all the way through. I find that a lot of videos, there's a lot of cuts. Okay, well, I've been doing this for 2 hours now, and then they come back and half the hog plant station or the hog dirt is all gone and stuff like that. It'll give you a real sense, though, in the videos of how long it actually takes to do stuff. Rather than having all these jump cuts that reduce your video to 20 minutes and okay, scoop, oh, alright, we got a dozen buckets now. And plus, I figured we had some decent conversations. I think in 2 of the videos, it's already been me and KJ bitching about giants. And other people bitching about giants. It's kind of a theme around here lately. If anyone's heard of this game, let me know. Luxury House Renovator. I was looking at it last night, and apparently what it is it's you run an operation kind of like House Flipper, but it's all based on luxury houses, and so you get in there and they're all destroyed, and you gotta repaint everything and whatnot. Did you get the stream viewers by complete luck / no advertising? Yes, I did. I've never ever advertised my stream.
There's advertising for streams?
I've never really advertised my streams. Searches up the game. I have advertisement on my YouTube station for my stream, but that's just if the video came from Twitch or not.
Oh, I see what you say.
Actually, all the viewers I've gotten, I really wish that Twitch would kind of take note of it. And they would get rid of viewers that haven't been around in 8 months to a year or something. Because it kind of screws up your follow count. Because even though I might have I don't know, near almost 4,000 followers, probably a good 3,900 of them are never around. And when I say 3,900, I kind of mean it. But this, my channel was built off of Farming Sim. And that's where I got 90% of my viewers mostly, was Farming Sim. Some off Diablo, some off of Flight Sim, some off of Train Sim. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15? Didn't I have 18 buckets? Oh! Here's more of you sneaky little buggers. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a complete liar. We had more buckets here. 17, 18. Okay, that makes sense. By advertising example, I mean for a small online group company in my free time, so I could advertise my stream on there. I've never really advertised my stream, to be honest. I basically just ran my streams for whatever games I'm doing, and that's basically it. Because the reason why I started streaming was because I was sitting back here all the time How long did it take you to become a Twitch affiliate? Dude, it took me like 4 years. Because I've been streaming for about 6 years now. And I was known as a farming sim streamer. So all I was streaming was farming sim. And that's where like 90% of my audience was from. And it became down to the point of that I was playing farming sim so much that that's all people really knew me for. As soon as I started playing a different game, people were kind of like, eh. But, what do you call it? I've done, I don't know. I've done a lot of different games. Different niches of games, like, produced certain viewers, like Russian Fishing produced a lot of viewers. What other games were really good? This game was really good for viewers. I can't think of any other games that really produced a lot of viewers. MMOs in general are pretty good for viewers because if those people are streaming the game or playing, they usually want to come and play with you or help you, kind of thing. But, alright, I am going to take a quick 10 to 15 minute here. So, I'm going to save it here and I'm going to jump out. And I'll see you guys in about 10-15 minutes or so. And I'll break off this video and start its upload and whatnot. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.